At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally tells the truth about Patty Duke. Melissa Gilbert was born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964 in Los Angeles, California. She was adopted as a baby by actor and comedian Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane. Melissa grew up surrounded by the world of entertainment from the very beginning. Growing up in Hollywood gave her lots of chances to develop her talents, and she quickly found out she loved acting. Even though she started early in an industry known for being tough, Melissa showed amazing strength and determination, making a place for herself, not only as a child star, but later as a well-respected actress, director, author, and spokesperson. Melissa's big break came when she was just 9 years old, landing the famous role of Laura Ingalls Wilder on the hit television series Little Housey in the Prairie from 1974 to 1983, based on the popular books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The series became a huge hit, celebrating the American pioneer spirit while also talking about important themes of family, faith, hard times, and never giving up. Melissa's performance as Half Pint, which is what her character was lovingly called by Michael Landon's Charles, connected with millions of viewers around the world. Her natural charm, emotional acting, and realness made Laura a character that audiences could relate to across generations. Week after week, Melissa brought innocence, strength, and warmth to the role, helping the series become one of the most lasting family dramas of all time. But Melissa's life was not just shaped by her years on Little House. After the show ended, she continued to build an amazing career in television and film. She starred in dozens of made-for-TV movies, including emotional powerful roles in projects such as Voices of the Heart from 1983, where she played missionary Jean Donovan, and The Miracle Worker from 1979, in which she played Helen Keller opposite Patty Duke as Anne Sullivan. These performances showed her ability to step into challenging dramatic roles that demanded maturity and emotional skill well beyond her years. As an adult actress, Melissa also appeared in series as Stand By Your Man, Sweet Justice, and guest roles across television, proving her ability to adapt and continued success in a competitive industry. Beyond her acting, Melissa Gilbert became a powerful voice in Hollywood leadership. From 2001 to 2005, she served as the president of the Screen Actors Guild, or SAG, representing the interests of thousands of actors across the United States. During her time there, she was known for her tireless work for fair contracts, health care benefits, and protections for performers dealing with an always-changing entertainment world. This period of her career showed that Melissa was not just a talented actress but also a determined leader, unafraid to speak out and fight for the rights of her fellow actors. During the time from 2008 to 2009, Gilbert was seen as Caroline Ma in the musical version of Little House on the Prairie, directed by Francesca Zambello. The world premiere show took place at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis. The show went on AO's national tour, which started in 2009 and finally came to an end at Starlit Theater in Kansas City, Missouri in June 2010. Melissa also tried writing, creating several books that gave fans a close-up look into her journey. Her memoir, Prairie Tale from 2009, honestly told about her experiences growing up in Hollywood, the pressures of child stardom, her struggles with addiction, and her final path toward recovery and healing. She also wrote My Prairie Cookbook in 2014, mixing family recipes with behind-the-scenes stories from her Little House years, a perfect gift to her devoted fan base. Her openness in talking about personal challenges made her relatable and inspiring, showing that even those who seem to live perfect lives in the spotlight face their own battles. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been as eventful and interesting as her professional career, especially when it comes to her relationships and marriages. In 1988, she married actor Bob Brinkman, who at the time was known for his work in films and television and was also connected to the legendary or Estevecting family through his cousin Martin Sheen. Their marriage was marked by passion and creativity, as both were actively working within the entertainment industry during those years. The couple had a son, Dakota Paul Brinkman, in 1989. Making Gilbert a mother for the first time and adding new parts of joy and responsibility to her life. However, even though they tried hard to keep a strong bond, their relationship was filled with challenges, and after 6 years of marriage, they decided to split up. Their divorce in 1994 brought to a close a chapter that had been both rewarding and difficult, teaching Gilbert valuable lessons about love, family, and personal growth. Just a year after her first marriage ended, Gilbert found love again with actor Bruce Boxleitner, a well-known television and film star best known for his roles in Scarecrow and Mrs. King and the Tron films. The two had actually been introduced years earlier by Gilbert's former co-star, Michael Landauer, and after meeting again, they began a romance that quickly grew. They married in 1995 in a ceremony that mixed Hollywood glamour with heartfelt emotion, and together they raised a blended family. Gilbert became a stepmother to Boxleitner's two sons from his previous marriage. And in 1995, the couple had a son of their own, Michael Garrett Boxleitner, named in honor of Gilbert's late mentor and Little House on the Prairie father figure, Michael Landon. Their marriage lasted for over 16 years, making it Gilbert's longest relationship to that point. Throughout those years, the couple faced the usual ups and downs of a Hollywood partnership, balancing the pressures of acting careers, parenting, and public life. Despite their shared history and familiarities, Gilbert and Boxleitner finally decided to divorce in 2011, marking the end of another important time in her life. After taking time to focus on herself and her children, Gilbert once again found love, this time with actor and director Timothy Busfield, best known for his roles in 30-something, The West Wing, and Field of Dreams. In January 2013, her representative confirmed their engagement, which was news that was met with warm enthusiasm by fans who admired both stars for their long-standing contribution to television and film. Their relationship moved quickly as that was shared not only personal chemistry but also the same values, rooted in family, creativity, and a love of a simpler life. On April 24, 2013, they were married in a quiet yet romantic ceremony in Santa Barbara, California, showing a fresh new start for Gilbert, who often described Busfield as her true partner and soulmate. Following their wedding, the couple chose to step away from the typical Hollywood lifestyle, settling in small town of Howell, Michigan from 2013 to 2018. There they embraced a quieter, more down-to-earth life. Far removed from the glitz and craziness of Los Angeles, Gilbert became heavily involved in local life, connecting with the community and even finding joy in fixing up and restoring an old Victorian house, which often described as a labor of love and a way to express her new chapter. During these years, she also focused more deeply on writing, political activism, and her health, looking for a sense of peace and balance after decades in the spotlight. By late 2018, Gilbert and Busfield decided to move on Seymour. This time moving to New York City, the change represented another new phase in their lives as they went from calm of small-town Michigan to the lively cultural center of Manhattan. In New York, Gilbert found herself surrounded by art, theater, and opportunities that continued to inspire her both professionally and personally. The move also allowed her to be closer to her extended family and reconnect with the fast-paced, creative energy that had shaped much of her earlier life. With Busfield at her side, Gilbert entered this stage of her journey with a renewed purpose, showing resilience, ability to adapt, and a commitment to embracing love and life in all its forms. At 61 years old, Melissa Gilbert, the beloved actress best known for her role as Laura Ingalls Wilder on the famous television series Little House on the Prairie, finally opened up about her complicated and deeply personal connection with another Hollywood legend, Patty Duke. For decades, Gilbert had stayed pretty private about certain parts of her life, carefully choosing when and how she would share personal truths. But now, with age and wisdom on her side, she decided it was time to share her thoughts honestly and without holding back. Her words, marked with the realness of lived experience, carried not only respect for Duke's amazing talent, but also on the darker realities of show business and the deep impact that Duke's struggles had on her own view of life in the spotlight. Melissa Gilbert's comments, delivered in her typical straightforward, heartfelt manner, often began with a sense of respect. Patty Duke was one of the most fearless actresses I've ever seen. She said she had this amazing ability to bring a character to life in a way that made you feel like you weren't watching a performance. You were watching someone's soul being shown right in front of you. For Gilbert, who had also grown up in the entertainment industry from the young age of 9, watching Duke's performance was both inspiring and intimidating. She could see in Patty Duke's work the raw honesty and openness that all true actors wanted to achieve. Yet beneath that brilliance, Gilbert also recognized the sense of struggle that so many child stars and adult performers experience in Hollywood. a reality she herself hadn't been protected from. In opening up about Patty Duke, Gilbert didn't shy away from talking about the hardships that Duke went through. Her battles with mental illness, the pressures of being Pusha Dindo fame as a young girl, and the often harmful personal relationships that came with her troubled life. Gilbert admitted, "When I was younger, I didn't fully understand what Patty was going through. I don't think any of us kids in the industry really did. We just thought she was moody or intense. But as I got older and I lived my own ups and downs, I realized that what she went through was nothing short of terrible." Gilbert explained that Duke's openness later in life about her struggles with bipolar disorder gave countless people, including herself, the courage to speak about their own weaknesses without shame. Gilbert also thought about how Patty Duke, in many ways, became a warning story for young actors like herself. "I looked at Patty's life and thought, if she can survive everything she's been through and still have the strength to stand up and speak out, then there's hope for all of us." She admitted that Duke's story made her more aware of the dangers of Hollywood's tough demands, especially on young women. Gilbert said that her own path, marked by public relationships, divorces, health challenges, and her own struggles with addiction, had been similar to some of Duke's hardships. "There were times," Gilbert said, "when it felt like I was balancing on the sandwich that Patty had lived on for years, but watching how she finally took control of her story, gave me the courage to try and do the same for myself." What stood out most in Melissa Gilbert's memories was not just her admiration for Patty Duke's professional talent, but also her understanding for Duke's personal battles. "She was human," Gilbert said. "That's something people forget when they look at stars. Patty wasn't just an actress or an icon or a tragic figure. She was a human being who wanted love, stability, and peace just like the rest of us, and she spent much of her life trying to find that." Gilbert's words rang out with a sense of connection, as though she were speaking not only as a fellow actress, but as a woman who deeply understood what it meant to handle the difficult balance between public love and private pain. In telling her truth about Patty Duke, Melissa Gilbert gave fans and readers a rare look into the complex world of Hollywood's child stars, a world filled with both amazing opportunities and huge pressures. At 61, her thoughts carried the weight of looking back, compassion, and a determination to unearth the legacy of a woman whose life had been both bright and troubled. "If there's anything I've learned from Patty," Gilbert said, "it's that our struggles don't define us. They shape us. And if we can find the courage to share them, maybe we can help someone else feel less alone through these honest revelations." Melissa Gilbert not only paid tribute to Patty Duke, but also confirmed her own journey of honesty, resilience, and growth. At an age where many cousins, Gilbert chose to speak, and in doing so, she reminded the world of the power that comes from telling the truth, even when it's difficult, even when it's long overdue.